So in part one of this test, we took the X5 off-road and pitted it against some dedicated off-road machinery, the Polaris and the Rally Gypsy. And the X5, it has to be said, came out with flying colors. This is an SUV with Lamborghini-sized rear tires. This is the SUV that spawned a whole generation of on-road SUVs. SUVs that perform better on the road than on the dirt trail. So, we're at the BIC to put that theory to test. And we've got the Range Rover Sport, which is the absolute pinnacle of the breed. Not only is it the benchmark off the road, but it is fantastic on the road as well. It's got a brand new all-aluminium monocoque chassis, it's got torque vectoring technology, and it's a fantastic SUV, albeit a little more expensive. So let's start the clock and really put these SUVs to the test. This is the first time we've brought SUVs to the track. And these are proper full-size SUVs. Yes, they're both monocoque chassis SUVs, they're both road-going SUVs, but they're still big, heavy, and proper SUVs. So this is the same car that I took to the hills a couple of months ago, and it's a really special cabin. A lot more special than the BMW. Yes, the X5 is typical BMW fare, which is to say that it is exceptional quality and everything just works brilliantly. But this one just has a really nice feel to it. It's got these different materials that are blended together perfectly. You've got wood trim, you've got aluminium accents, you've got different shades of leather, and it just has a lot of character. It works really well. It's a really comfortable cabin. Immediately I'm going through the first couple of corners and I'm getting a lot of roll and a lot of squeal from the tires. So ideally the car that we should be bringing, or the Range Rover Sport that we should be bringing to the track, is the 5-litre supercharged version, but that would be unfair to the BMW. So this is the SD V6. It's a 3-litre turbocharged V6 diesel that puts out 288 horsepower and 600 Nm of torque. So it's pretty powerful. Very comparable to the power unit that's in the BMW. In fact, both of them share the same ZF 8-speed gearbox, which is probably the best gearbox in the world today. This car has much bigger sidewalls than the BMW, and it really is a fantastic car to go off-roading in. It is exceptionally capable off the road, so it is going to pay the price a little bit on the track. The ride height is adjustable, so I've got it set as low as possible. We've got it in manual mode, and really there isn't much else to do. It does have torque vectoring technology, and what that means is that when I took it to the hills, you take it around the tight bends and it just catapults you around the corner. If you get off the gas, the car tends to understeer a little bit, and you can feel the weight of the car just pushing you wide when you're going into a tight corner. But you keep your foot on the gas and it actually catapults you right around the corner. It's a pretty phenomenal technology, and it works really well, not only in sports cars like the F-Type, but especially in a big lumbering SUV like the Range Rover Sport. Not that this is too big and lumbering, but certainly a lot bigger than an F-Type, for instance. And it actually feels pretty good. You do have to get the car slowed down enough to actually get it turned in, because it is big and heavy. But once you do that, and if you treat it with a little bit of respect, it actually drives pretty well on the track. You can just feel the torque vectoring pulling you through the corner. It's controlling the understeer, and you can just feel the outside wheels working that little bit harder to get you around the corner. It's pretty incredible. So let's be clear, we're not assuming that anybody's actually going to buy a Range Rover Sport and bring it to a racetrack, but these cars are really good on the road. So this test is essentially to figure out just how good they are. From a reference point of view, what kind of lap time do they actually set when you really put them against the clock? I have to say, this feels like a bit of a mix between a Sunday drive and a burst around the racetrack, because I'm so comfortable in this car. I almost don't feel like pushing it to the absolute limit. And even when I am, it just doesn't feel stressful or manic at all. It just feels really calm, really composed, really comfortable. Sure, we're not going as fast as I would like, but it feels pretty good all the same. I've done a handful of laps now and there's absolutely no brake fade whatsoever, which is pretty impressive. I have to say I'm pretty impressed by how this car's behaving on the track. It's not completely at sea, it's pretty comfortable. When you get out on a track and do stuff like this, you can tell that these cars have actually been tested in this environment. They have been tested on the track. They are designed to do stuff like this. In SUVs of old, even the old Range Rover Sport, which was built on the Discovery platform, which is a body-on-frame platform, there was a lot more roll, there was a lot more dive, it was much bigger, it was much heavier. This one is 420 kilos less than its predecessor. Having said that, I still think the BMW is going to be a little bit quicker because it's a little lower down, it's a little bit smaller. It does also have 20-inch rims, but it's got much lower profile rubber, and it's just a lot more stiffer on the road and therefore on the track. I can be a lot more aggressive in the way I turn in with the BMW. This engine sounds pretty good too. I've said before that I think that the 3-liter diesel in this car matched to the ZF 8-speed is the best powertrain in the world for daily use. And I think that holds true for the track as well. This car is just pulling all the way to the red line. Hooliganism is kicking in now. So I have to say, on the whole, I am incredibly impressed with the new BMW X5. Sure, the Range Rover Sport is a lot nicer inside the cabin, but then it's a lot more expensive as well. Sure as well, the Range Rover Sport is going to be far more effective if you really want to do some serious off-roading. In the Range Rover Sport, we went up into the hills a couple of months ago. We took it in the snow. We had 3 other SUVs, and the Range Rover Sport was the only one that could go up sheer cliff faces that were covered in ice. There's no way that the BMW would be able to match that kind of a feat. But on a daily basis, for an SUV that offers most of the utility of an SUV and just drives absolutely brilliantly on the road, the X5 would be my pick.